our Alma 203 class today, we're going to learn about license management in Alma. I've logged in as Kathy Owen, my acquisitions librarian, and from the Alma menu, I'm going to access my license records. We can see a display of the licenses that I have defined in my library, the name of the license, license code. We can see the status of the license, the start and the end date where relevant, and also the date that the license was signed. I'm going to click on the Go license in order for us to be able to see more information about the license. Whenever we look at detailed information about a record in Alma, we will always start with the summary information and then move on to other tabs of information. On the summary information, I can see, for example, where the physical license location is stored. This would be one of the areas of your Alma institution that you would be configuring in order to define the storage places for your physical licenses that are relevant for your library. This configuration can be made from the Alma web interface if you have the necessary role and authorization to do so. If we move on to the License Terms tab, we can see the terms that have been defined for my license. Alma conforms to the DLF ERMI standard, which supports 69 fields for defining license information. If I scroll down my screen, we'll see that I actually don't have 69 fields on my screen here. Where I do have these 69 fields stored are in a configuration table that I can access, and I can define exactly what fields I want to have displaying on my license screen here for my staff users to register information. This, I think, is very important because we don't want to have our staff users scrolling down long lists of fields in order to find the fields that they need to fill in. We can also see that we are able to define and divide the information into areas of commonality, so for example terms of use and restrictions, and I think this also helps to make it easier for staff to fill in the relevant parameters. We can see as part of the configuration we can define options for answering or filling in information, so for example a yes or no option, prohibited or permitted, and if it's a note field it's just going to be empty so that I can fill in a note relevant to that particular field. Moving on to the Inventory tab, we can see that all the packages that have been linked to my particular license are listed here automatically by Alma as soon as I create that linkage when ordering the package. Remember, we have our little tools icon here on the right hand side, so it's particularly useful to have this information here in one place and to have the option of seeing what packages are linked to a license and, if necessary, exporting it via Excel. If I move on to the Notes tab, we will be able to see that it is possible to define note fields in Alma. Excuse me. There is no limit, of course, to the number of notes that can be defined. Each note field can be up to 2,000 characters. We can see the date that the note field was created, who it was created by. We can see the note itself, and we can at any time update that note or add a new note. And then finally, on the Attachments tab, we are able to see the electronic forms of the license that have been attached to this particular license record. So once again, we can see very useful functionality in Alma, where everything that I need in order to manage my library system is in one place. From the point of view of the license, I have my inventory linked here, I have my attachments linked here. I don't have to go elsewhere to look for this information. I can upload any additional licenses as this becomes relevant, or I can put in a URL to a license that is posted at the vendor site. And if I want to download the license and have a look at the license terms, I have the option to do so. This concludes our overview of the license management in Alma.